Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So let's take a deeper dive into some of the subjects that I announced earlier today. Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates joining Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, known as the BRICS nations, in their financial bloc is a huge, big deal. Okay? When Nixon decoupled the dollar from gold, they cut a deal with Saudi Arabia so that Saudi Arabia would only accept the US dollar when buying oil, hence creating the Petrol Dollar. Now, Saudi Arabia has basically told the United States to go pound sand, as they say. Not only are they going to accept other currencies, but now they actually filed to join the BRICS nations. I want you to think about this. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa now having access to Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. That's a huge blow against the UK, the EU, and the United States. So that's going to be a major macro event as we continue moving forward. Hence why I say, yeah, I'm kind of deep into crypto. Now, something else that some people should be paying attention to is there is a China-based firm that introduced cross-border payments for stablecoins and CBDCs. And the reason why I think that's a big deal is because that's a direct shot across the bow for the SWIFT network. Yes, the SWIFT network has 11,000 banks and countries involved in their network. However, this is a clear sign that SWIFT is behind the times, not moving fast enough, as well as when you look at this China-based company doing this, it's a sign that China is making a big move, and so are the BRICS nations in creating their own network for cross-border payments. I sit here and I say, it's going to be an interesting time as we move forward. All right. Something else that I'm paying attention to as I bring my notes back up is Stellar Foundation. The Stellar Development Foundation has joined the CFTC's Global Advisory Committee, and they represent the only actual blockchain organization to join that kind of committee. The committee is actually other members of the committee actually contain the Chamber of Digital Commerce and Coin Fund, as well as Uniswap. But Stellar Development Foundation, again, is the only blockchain representation on that committee. That said, I think it's actually a pretty good representation. They're going to be focused on layer one issues and layer one remittances. And I think that's something that should be brought to light. Because, layer two relies on layer one, blah, 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 done. So very good conversations happening there. I keep telling people, don't sleep on Stellar. Don't. Signature Bank told Binance that they're not going to accept any transactions below $100,000. That's a very big deal because that's a major fiat partner of Binance. It's not a hit on Binance, but it is something that says, hey, some of these companies or some of these people are not going to be able to, maneuver money back and forth from fiat, to crypto very easily if their transactions have to be over $100,000. That tells you that, it's family money, rich money, major institutions, because the common person does not move $100,000. That's just not something that happens. So that's something that I'm paying attention to. And just as a side note, I was looking at the news this morning and I noticed Brian Armstrong again can't mind his own damn business. So he went out there and he said, "Hey, look, listen, Brazil and Argentina are going to start having talks about having a common currency, right?" And he says, he started suggesting that maybe it should be Bitcoin. Dude, shut up. Shut up. Focus on Coinbase. Focus on everything that you've got going on Coinbase and stop sticking your nose in places that just catch ire from everybody else, because he's getting it. He's getting lit up on Twitter. I just sit back and just kind of go, he's a really smart guy, really knows what he's doing. Taking Coinbase to, much higher situations, much higher advancements in the company, partnerships, deals, all that kind of stuff. but I really think he should mind that business other than other business. You know what I mean? He's not involved in those talks, so mind your business. That's not your business. Coinbase is. Mind your business. But when I look at everything on a global scale, yesterday I told you what my weekly outlook would be, and the biggest thing that sticks out to me that's going to loom over our heads for a really long time is going to be the impact of the war in Ukraine. And the reason why I say this is because the war in Ukraine is not a good thing on many levels. Yes, lives lost, all that. Let's remove ourselves from that. Look at the financial impact. There's been financial impact because of grain sales, all that stuff. That's just hit the world, right? So all those prices went up. Something else that I pay attention to is that Saudi Arabia told the EU, UK, Europe, hey, mind your business when it comes to Russia's issues with Ukraine. They decided not to, so hence you see Saudi Arabia and UAE looking to join BRICS nations. You also saw Saudi Arabia say, we'll be accepting other currencies other than the US dollar, obviously decoupling the US dollar from oil. So now the US dollar is truly backed by nothing. Hopes and dreams. That's scary. Because that's all that fiat is, right? The BRICS nations are looking to back their currencies by gold and other tangible assets. Wow. Now, people look at this and they kind of go, well, what are the impacts? There are some obvious impacts there. US dollar not backed by anything. Those countries, fiats or currencies, real currencies, backed by hard assets. That's a major, major issue as you're looking forward. And that's why you look at some of these events and you look to see how they're going to play out in the future. And this was the war in Ukraine moving forward in the future. That said, there is huge reliance. I mean, India can be involved in this, but they have, their own limitations. So does Russia, and so does even China. Okay, South Africa making that move, with this. I'm actually surprised, but not surprised. But each one of those nations has a problem. Now, circle back to the United States. Now you understand why us having an issue with the debt ceiling and playing political games with the debt ceiling is a major freaking problem. How is anybody in the world going to have confidence in the United States when we can't handle our own business? So as you're looking forward and as you're looking at your congressman, I don't care what party you're in. I don't care. It's not a political statement. It is a governmental operations statement. The United States government needs to get its act together so that the rest of the world can stop laughing at us. You might not think they're laughing, but this move by BRICS nations plus Saudi Arabia plus the UAE, that is a major problem that nobody's talking about. You're going to start to hear about it in the news because they filed that paperwork only 2 days ago. 2-3 days ago. So that's going to have a major freaking impact. Pay attention. And it's not just, in a specific area. This is around the world. Brazil. So do you think their common currency talks with Argentina is not going to bring Argentina also into BRICS? India. Look at all the workers around the world. Look at all the companies around the world leveraging India-based talent. There are going to be major repercussions stemming from all of this. So pay attention. This is why I tend to get more into crypto. All right. Anyway, let's get into the numbers because that's something that I'm interested in. Here you go. All right. The numbers are absolutely awesome. I told you a while ago that I was not going to pay attention to anything until we broke through this bottom level right here of 17,449. I told you that was a very big deal. We had to get through that point. All right. The point before that was actually 15,482. So for a while, this was the low at 17,449, and then we dropped right there. We dropped, and the new low was 15,482. Then we broke through. We went sideways for a while. We had been going sideways, but upwardly for a minute. And then all of a sudden, just this breakout bull run that we're having right now. I can honestly call it a bull run right now. I feel like it's a bull run only because it's a little bit sustained. A little bit sustained. Let's see what happens this week. But after that, after the 23,417, I've got to see Bitcoin survive in this space, because my next number, which was a previous low, which was 25,210. Okay. Those are the numbers I'm paying attention to. And the next number after that for me, everybody going, well, if you go through 25, the next number is 30. No, it's not. It's actually going to be 28, basically 28,000, $28,028.90. That's going to be your moment. Those are going to be your moments as you start to see things go up, or this is how I'm measuring things. And I don't remove these lines. I just maneuver the actual chart, right? So you can see right here, we're starting to move sideways. We came really close to breaking through that high, but we didn't. So we're going to have to see, do we go through that ceiling this week, or do we just go sideways for a while? It's highly possible that we go sideways, but I think we have an opportunity to go above. All right. Something that we should be paying attention to. There are a lot of earnings reports that happen this week. I think Microsoft is out this week. But the only reason why I tell you to pay attention to that is because that's the overall financial market, right? You take earnings reports from stocks, you take crypto, and there's your overall picture. Everybody says, oh, I'm into crypto. Pay attention. Don't just be into crypto. Be into many things. That's really where you should be. If you're looking at your overall market, you really should be looking at everything and not just one thing. Now, cryptos have decoupled from the stock market a bit, but they kind of intersect as they move forward, right? There are these cross points where sometimes they're coupled, and then cross points where sometimes they're decoupled. Pay attention to those things. Always do your own research. There's a lot of things that I share that pop out, but always do your own research. All right. If you want to, I don't know what's up with this chart, but it's not moving. I mean, well, the numbers are moving, but all the colors are gray. Now I'm not understand why everything is actually just gray. Excuse me. I tried looking at it on different charts, and it still just stays gray. It's weird. The fear and greed index, I wanted to bring this up, is at 50. It had been higher a little while ago. Obviously, it was up at 56 before. But that says that we're in neutral territory. That's kind of interesting. I kept telling you there's pent up energy, pent up positive energy around the crypto space. And that's something that every time I turn around, I just want to see just how much spring do we have left. And if we're at 50, I don't know that we have a lot of spring left. I think there'll wind up being some profit taking and all that good stuff. But I think there's profit taking versus a downward trend. Those are different things. All right. I think January 31st, so a couple of weeks, week or so, January 31st starts the Fed meeting, and then we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a 25 basis point move. Could still be a 50, but I think it's going to be a 25 because things, inflation has slowed down a lot. It has slowed down a lot. So I think going 50 gives you a hard thud of a recession if you're looking at 25 basis points, it gives you a softer landing. And then you can always do another 25, or you can even pause once you see all the numbers come in. And I think it would be a pause. So I'm calling for a 25 basis point move, and then a pause versus a 50 basis point move, then a 25, then a pause. All right. So this is Eddie J on crypto. Hope what I'm giving you is helpful. If you have any questions, suggestions, let me know. Happy to see if I can research it because I like doing research. Anyway, have a good one. Bye-bye.